welcome to the Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. I'm now joined by League General Manager Matt Jones.
Hello everybody and welcome to the official podcast of the Northern Counties East Football League. I'm going to do something slightly different to the norm this week, and I'm going to start down at the bottom end of Division 1 and we're going to start at Yorkshire Amateur. We've mentioned them in recent weeks about what a rotten run of form they've been on. They've been really struggling. People who aren't aware, they won the first league game of the season away at Louth Town, but then before Saturday they'd gone 17 league games without a win. And in fact, in that time they only picked up 1 point, losing 16 of those 17 games. That all changed on Saturday. There must have been much relief in Leeds on Saturday evening as the Hammers finally picked up a win, beating Ilkley Town 1-0 with a goal from Oliver Busfield. I'd like to say well done to everybody at the club. It'll be interesting to see, can they now kick on from this and move up the league? Elsewhere in Division 1, the game I went to, Wakefield, continued their impressive run, beating Athersley Recreation 4-0. And that's 6 wins in a row now for Wakefield and moved into the playoff positions. Another team to watch, Worsbridge Athletic, had a slow start to the season. They've certainly picked up in recent weeks now, 9 games without defeat, and they recorded a 4-0 win against Appleby Fodingham on Saturday. They're now just 4 points outside the playoff positions as well, comfortably in mid-table, but they're coming up fast. The other end of the table, we've mentioned Yorkshire Amateurs, but it's now 5 straight defeats for Appleby Fodingham, who are second bottom, and they've certainly found it tough since promotion from the Lincolnshire League last season. Game coming up this Saturday, if anybody wants to go and watch where it is, Appleby Fodingham versus Yorkshire Amateurs, the clash of the bottom two. So a real relegation 6-pointer. In the Premier Division, it's now 10 wins in a row for league leader Silvan, who won 1-0 at Campion. Everybody that's been to Campion, they're a good side. It's not an easy place to go and pick up 3 points. Silvan looking impressive at the moment. Second place, Galkey United remained 2 points behind. They had an impressive 3-0 win at Penistone Church. Again, another side in the playoff positions and not an easy place to go. The top two have opened up a nice gap now between themselves and Albion Sports, who are third. And that gap's 9 points. Although Albion Sports do have 2 games in hand, so that may close, we'll see. Another team doing really well, Beverley Town. For the first time this season, they moved into the playoff positions after a 4-0 win against Thackley. And that's 4 straight wins and 7 unbeaten for the Beavers. Over the weekend, obviously there were no Championship football, Premier League football because of the international break. And we've seen some fantastic crowds, with 787 at Hallam, 504 at Penistone Church, 382 at Beverley, 328 at Wakefield, and 226 at Goole, and 224 at Selby. But there's fantastic support throughout the league. We've seen a number of reports on X yesterday of how clubs across the National League system are seeing crowds drop compared to previous years. And around 2/3 of teams from step 1 down to step 6 are reporting that crowds are down. And that's the real reverse of the trends we've seen recently, where crowds have been going steadily up. I've had a look at the figures specifically for the Northern Counties East League, and our Premier Division crowds are down by an average of nearly 6% this season so far, while we're down 13% in Division 1. Now, we've lost some big hitters that got the crowds, the likes of North Hervey and Emley, that have been promoted in recent years. But is there something else that's causing crowds to drop at other clubs as well? And for the facts and figures, of 33 teams that we've got that were in the same league last season as they're in now, 17 are reporting an increase, but 16 are reporting a decrease. So we're roughly half and half, which is slightly better than the national trend, but it's still worrying that 16 teams are seeing crowds go down. We feel that across the league we've got better facilities than ever before at most grounds, better playing standards than ever before. We're seeing more ex-pros in the league, academy players, loan players from higher up leagues, etc. So why are clubs seeing crowds go down? And I'd like to throw the question open to people who listen to the podcast if you've got any thoughts on this. Is it too expensive? And as an example, I went to watch Sutton United play Yeovil in the National League a few weeks ago, and I was stood on an open end and it was £20 to stand out in the rain. And I'm thinking that was a lot of money, but I think ours range from sort of £5 up to £8, which is it still too dear for the level of football? Is it due to the cost of living crisis? Are people just cutting back generally on leisure activities and that kind of things? Or is there something else that's putting people off? Please drop us a line at the podcast and let us know if you've got any thoughts on this. Thank you, everybody.
Welcome to Seasons Past with Libby Edwards. In this episode, I'm looking back to the 2009-2010 season. The Premier Division contained 18 teams from the previous season plus promoted from Division 1, Scarborough Athletic, and Rainsworth Miners Welfare. The league was won by Bridlington Town, who won 30 and drew 4 of their 38 games, finishing with 94 points. Their biggest win was a 8-0 win at home to Broadsworth Welfare. They also won 7-0 at Arnold Town. Rainworth Miners Welfare finished second. They won 26 and drew 5, finishing on 83 points. In third place were Armthorpe Welfare, who finished on 79 points. Broadsworth Welfare finished bottom. Second bottom was Shirebrook Town, and third bottom were Nostell Miners Welfare. The newcomer to Division 1 was relegated Eccleshill United. The league was won by Tadcaster Albion. They finished on 74 points, with 22 wins and 8 draws. Runners-up were Brighouse Town. They won 23 and drew 4, finishing on 73 points. In third place were Leeds Carnegie, who finished on 72 points. In the 18-team First Division, Worsbrough Bridge finished bottom. Broadsworth Welfare were on the wrong end of both highest league wins of the season. They lost 10-0 at home to Armthorpe Welfare, and 13-0 at Scarborough Athletic. The League Cup was won by Dinnington Town, who beat Armthorpe Welfare 5-2 in the final at Staveley. Beaten semi-finalists were Pickering Town and Grimsby Borough. The President's Cup was won by Winterton Rangers, who defeated Arnold Town 3-1 at Staveley. In the FA Vase, Pickering Town and Armthorpe Welfare made it to the fourth round. Pickering beat Hordern, North Shields, Winsford and Dunkirk before losing to Mask. Armthorpe Welfare beat Sunderland RCA, Ashington, Liversedge, Daisy Hill and Bridlington Town before losing to Wroxham. In the FA Cup, Rainworth Miners Welfare made it to the second qualifying round, where they were beaten by Bedworth United. To get there they had beaten Ratford, Heather St John's and Holbrook Miners Welfare.
Next up, NCEL talk. I'll hand straight over to host Aaron Walton.
So, hello everybody. We've got Bob and Si and myself, Aaron, tonight. We're missing Adam, however, because he's got a better gig. He's at the Football Contents Award, nominated for Content on Non-League, and I think you guys will agree with me that he really does do a good job promoting the game at our level, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. Yeah. And I think the awards are at Tottenham Hotspur's ground, so that'd be a good evening.
It certainly are. He's already put some photographs up. It looks like he's having a good time.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah, so I hope he wins. It was at Barton on Tuesday night, but unfortunately I was at work again, so I didn't get a chance to see him. So he did a little thing on Barton Town, which was quite good. But enough of that. Let's get on to the games played in the NCEL over the week. And of course, it all started last Friday, because Friday night's NCEL night, isn't it, Bob?
It certainly is. It certainly is.
And myself and Richard, we had a trip over to Bradford, to the Horsefall Community Stadium, Albion Sports versus Barton Town. Well, Albion beat Barton 3-1. But it wasn't one of those games where you think it was 3-1, really. You know, it wasn't a shellacking or anything like that. It was a really good game between two good teams. Barton up the scoring up after hitting the post with a Will Wardby looping shot. Really nice goal. Unfortunately, that spurred Albion on, and Fernando Moak scored after 32 minutes. Albion then had a penalty saved, but Albion were getting stronger. And then the second half, they really were strong. They really did turn it on Albion Sport. Nathan Cartman latched onto a nice pass and neatly tucked it away. I think from where we were, there looked shades of offside there when he got the ball, but it still was a good finish and it still needed a lot doing to it. But Nathan Cartman's second goal, absolutely brilliant. It was worth the entry fee alone, just to say what a great turn in the box and slotted it in the bottom corner to make it 3-1. Barton didn't give up. They kept going. They kept plugging away. They hit the bar and Jordan Porter pulling off a good save. So it was a long old journey back, I must admit, because as usual, the M62 was closed somewhere along the line and the A63 is always closed. So, but for me, guys, Albion look really good. You've got the midfielder Luke Sharry, Emerson Cox, Aaron Bassey, Dom Staunton, all playing really good. They've got Fernando Moat, Cartman, Suddards and Cisse up front. And also Tom Ponter played really well. And I'm going to give a special mention to the little man, Leon Henry. Still going strong. He must be 38 now, Leon. And he's still got an engine as big as a Harley Davidson. So it was a really good game, to be fair. Anyway, enough about Town. Let's get on to other teams. In Division 1, though, on Friday night, Shelley lost out, didn't they, to a team in form, Dernan District, cementing their place in second. I think they won 3-1 as well. So that was your Friday night football. I'll tell you what, we'll start in Division 1 for the Saturday football. So Maltby beat Maltby and the Harrogate Railway drew 0-0. Nostell again picked up points with a solid 2-0 victory over Glasshoughton, which I thought was a good win.
Good win,
didn't you? Yeah, didn't you? I thought it was a good win for Nostell. Selby beat Dronfield 2-1. And we're going to talk about crowds later on, but that was a good crowd of 224 there, wasn't it?
And it was a last-minute goal for Selby.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Well, back to the last-minute club, aren't we? South Leeds bounced back after a poor showing at Brigg. They beat a good club Thorn 2-0, so that was good from South Leeds. And on to you, Si, with Wakefield against Athersley. 328 there, good crowd. And again,
it's picked up a bit now, but I think the international break helped. Because it helps put a few bums on seats, doesn't it? That, but yeah, we're starting to get some form back now. As I'm sure we'll come to in positions later. I won't burst your bubble on that one, but we have moved upwards.
You certainly
I'll say that much. I'll say that much. A difficult team to break down, Athersley. I think we've seen a different Athersley this season when we've been looking at the tables and the results than what we've seen for the previous two, and that really showed itself in the game. Although it was a 4-0 win, particularly in the first half, they were really difficult to break down. They didn't offer a lot going forward. I don't think we were troubled too much at the back, but yeah, they were well organised at the back, and it took us a little bit into the second half before we really started to stretch our legs a little.
4 different scorers again, I say. You certainly are a collective there, aren't you, at Wakey?
We do tend to do that rather than with one focal point, yeah. I know there was a previous week where Akil Francis, who scored again here, got a hat-trick, but most of the time the goals are spread around the team. Callum Brooks there's got 3 and 5 now since joining. Mo Gashi as well, getting his first goal for us with a beautiful curled shot from outside the area. In fact, Kenzie's goal for the third one was a rifled shot from outside the box as well. So yeah, it was a good game, a nice entertaining match, and propelling us forwards in our plight.
Definitely looking a lot better than it was a month ago, wasn't it?
Well, you can see him smiling a bit more now.
Yeah,
I'm a bit happier now.
Good. So we go on to the Wombwell. Surprisingly lost out to Armthorpe 1-0. So that was a good win for Armthorpe, wasn't it? Who else have we got? Wasborough. Oh, their excellent form continues with a solid 4-0 victory against Apfrod, who really are struggling, aren't they? So they're really not looking too good for Apfrod unless they can change their fortunes. And yes, Yorkshire Amateurs have got to win.
Yeah.
And look who they beat. They beat Ilkley, who have been playing really well.
Well, Ilkley, they've been so inconsistent though. Ilkley have been good, but they've also been pretty poor at times. Do you know what I mean? They've been good when they've played some of the teams higher up. But when you look, it was Dronfield that beat them before.
Yeah. So, but we're not taking anything away from the Amateurs because they've won 1-0. So well done
You've got
to
to you've got to be able to
Yorkshire.
play it no matter what level you're at.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
You've got
definitely.
to beat the teams at the top and the teams at the bottom, haven't
You
you?
certainly have. You certainly have. But well done to Yorkshire Amateurs for getting 3 points. And this Saturday is going to be a massive 6-pointer for Yorkshire Amateurs because they're playing Appleby Frodingham, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be a really good game. So that's the Division 1 covered. Let's go into the Prem. So we start with Beverley. They're on such a roll, aren't they? Another great win at the Norwood against the team up there, Thackley 4-0. 382 good souls at the Norwood. So well done to all the guys coming out there and ladies. Botsford getting a very much needed win against Tadcaster 5-3. You got your money's worth there with 8 goals, didn't you? So that was a good game. A good win for tabletoppers Silsden away at Campion with a Casey Stewart solitary goal, sealing it 1-0. Bob, I'm going to you now, mate. I had you down for a win. What
I know
happened?
you predicted last week a win, but it's the same old story. I'm
You
sounding,
played well in the first half and you went to pieces in the second. Yes?
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sounding like a broken record.
You certainly are, mate.
I mean, it was 0-0. I mean, we Gould competed and played just as well as Parkgate in the first half. 0-0 at half time. The second half, 5 minutes into the second half, a ball comes in from the right, bounces in our area, goes right to the far post, and Liam Thompson, he headed it in. Nobody cleared it. That was 5 minutes straight after the second half. And then Thompson again with a header from across from the right after 62 minutes, and it was 2-0, and we were chasing the game.
Mm.
The trouble at Gould is our last 4 games would be 0-0 at half time, 0-0 at half time. And then the fourth to last, Handsworth, they went in front, and Mark West equalised for it. No, not Mark West. It was Shea Muirhead got the equaliser.
Yeah.
But then in the last 4 games, 0-0 at up to half time. Then we have this. We come out in the second half and we seem to concede early, and so it's got into the players' heads, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it's not confidence. When it's like this, must be low. But performance-wise, we played well. I thought. We often puffed as we usually do, but we didn't. We never threatened in the second half that we was going to score. So we've got 18 games to remain now, and it's not looking good for us at the moment. So we need some wins and quickly.
Yeah. They'll come, I think. Good crowd again, Bob. 224. It's not bad, is it? I mean,
it was 226 actually. We had
226. I've taken 2 off.
Late...
I've taken 2 off because they went off at half time.
there were 2 late runners coming at 3:20.
Oh, well, that's how I didn't count then. So well done to the 226. So, well, we just have to.
But Parkgate were well supported. They brought quite a few from Parkgate as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well done, Parkgate, for bringing a few. We go on to Hallam 2, Knaresborough 2. 787 at Sandygate. It's phenomenal, isn't it?
Good result for that. Good result for Knaresborough because there was 2-0 up at one time.
There was, wasn't there?
Yeah. Then Hallam brought it down.
So, well, luckily for you, Bob, Winterton lost again, didn't they? So, Handsworth beat them 3-1.
Yeah, and there was 1-0 up at half time.
Yeah, Reece Moody scoring. Yeah, Scott Ruthven with a couple and Joe Parkin for Handsworth, and Reece Moody doing what Reece Moody does, score goals, and he's at Winterton now. So 3-1 to Handsworth beating Winterton. And our game of the day, what we all said last week, Penistone Church versus Golker, 514 and out to see a 3-0 win for Golker. So Penistone have come a little bit unstuck, haven't they?
They have, haven't they? Yeah, they started off well at the beginning of the season. Yeah. But the last 6 or 7 weeks, they've been up and down quite a lot, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. But they're still up there, so it's all not lost for Penistone. It's not doom and gloom. No. And they're still getting the fans in, so they're a well-supported team. I
think they'll finish in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. definitely think they will. Pickering Town. Well, I've been talking about Pickering Town playing some good football and not winning. Same with Frickley playing some good football and not winning. But Pickering came out 3-1 against Pickering. So the Pikes are back to winning ways. Well done, Pickering, because you do play some lovely football. And lastly, Rossington beating Eccleshill in a tight game 1-0. So that concludes the Saturday games. Now, if we go on to the midweek games, gentlemen, they were all cancelled due to the weather, apart from one, and I need a drum roll. Barton Town.
No,
Barton
correct
Town,
you.
it was on.
I'm going to correct you. There's 2 played last week.
Oh, go on then, Bob. You stole me thunder. I know there was. But I just...
Oh, go on. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
The Amthorpe played Monday night, didn't they?
They did, yeah. That's before all the bad weather, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, what was the score at Amthorpe, Bob?
It was at Route 1 Rovers, and Route 1 Rovers, that's not easy to say, won 6-3. So plenty of goals.
Oh, yes, yeah. I think Route 1 Rovers were one of the teams that I don't know if it's gospel, but I think they did, or they were looking to come up into the NCEL Division 1 last season, but I'm not sure. Well, obviously didn't, so they might be looking to come up again. So that was good, but well done to Route 1 Rovers. Hard look at Amthorpe. But Barton Town's game, when the bad weather was on Tuesday, when it snowed, Barton's was on. Now, it's not often we can say that, and we do get a lot of ribble remarks and flack about Barton Town games being called off. So I want to say to the naysayers, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Our game was on. But the worst thing was we lost.
Yeah. I bet it was very cold.
Apparently so. I didn't go. I was at work, but it was very, very cold. I know Adam went, and he said it was the coldest he's ever been at a football match. So, unluckily, Barton lost. It was Lincolnshire Senior Cup. Barton lost 2-1 to Lincoln United. It was quite a tight game, but that's 2 on the bounce. Barton have lost, but I'm not too worried about the cup games. So, let's have a preview then, gentlemen, of... no, I'm not going to have a preview. I'm going to have a look at the league tables. How dare I go on to? Let's have a look at the league table. Sorry, Bob.
That's all right.
So if we look at the Prem, Stilston is still at the top on 45 points, with Golka 2 points behind on 43. Both played 19 games. Albion, well, they're a good few points behind. They're on 34, but they've got 2 games in hand, haven't they? And they look very good for the money on Friday night. Penistone, as we've said, they're still on 34, but they've played 21 games, so they've played definitely a few more games than anybody else. And Beverley, 19 games, 33 points. So again, Beverley are looking good for the playoffs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really good.
What I'd say there as well, Albion have only played 6 at home and 11 away. So, although not only have they got games to catch up, they've also got plenty of home games compared to the others before the end of the season, and that could be telling as well.
It could be, and they're very used to the pitch to play on. It's a 4G pitch. Now, people say, and fans will say, well, everybody trains on 4G. There's a difference between training and playing matches, a big difference. So I think teams do have a little bit of an advantage, but that's maybe just me. I don't know. But it does fare well for a good game, I must admit, because it was a really cracking game on Friday night on the 4G. So if we look at the bottom, unfortunately, we've got Gould on 20 games, 9 points. Is that correct, Bob?
That is, unfortunately, it is.
Yeah. And then we've got Winterton Rangers, 18 games, 15 points. Knaresborough, 16 points, 18 games. And Tadcaster, 19 games, 19 points. So
I see Tadcaster today have re-signed Ollie Norman.
They have, yeah.
Yeah, but from Bradford. That's a good signing for them, isn't it?
It is a good signing for them. So they're hoping to pull away Tadcaster. We don't know, but it's certainly looking tight there, and Gould definitely in the win, don't we?
We certainly do. Sooner than later. Sooner than later.
Yeah, definitely. So it's looking dangerous down at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So if we go on to Division 1, so Horbury's still at the top 20 games, 50 points. They've amassed some points there. Durham District have played 22 games, 45 points. Wombwell, 18 games, 39 points. South Leeds, 21 games, 36 points. And Wakefield have finally got in there. 18 games, 34 points. So you've got a few games in hand over a couple of, 3 teams there, haven't you, Si? So it's looking good.
It's games in hand, but as we always say, you've got to pick up the points still. It does make for healthy reading at least. But as you look below that, even within 2 points, there's another 5 teams. So it is really close for those sort of at the moment. Looking at the final 2 playoff spots,
it's going to be tight, isn't it? Because teams are going to take points off each other, aren't they? They've got
Absolutely.
to. So they've got to. So that's looking good. If we look down at the bottom, Yorkshire Amateurs played 19 and got 7 points. Appleby Frodingham exactly the same. So that's, like we said, that's a massive game for those 2 teams. Swallownest, they're sort of 20 games and 19 points, and Nostell 19 and 19. So played 19, got 19 points. So can Yorkshire Amateurs and Appleby Frodingham escape? That's what I'm asking myself. It's going to be hard work, isn't it? But
I can't see it myself. It's a big ask, is that? But you never know. Stranger things have happened.
It's a massive ask, isn't it? It's a massive ask. But like you say, stranger things have happened. So let's have a look at our games over the weekend then, what we've got to come. So is there any Friday night games before I get chastised?
No.
Not this week.
Not this week. You're safe.
So we're safe. So Friday night is certainly not NCEL night. Right. So we've got in the Prem, we've got Barton Town versus Thackley. Pretty even game that could go either way, I think. We've got Beverley Town versus Tadcaster. What do you reckon to that one? Do you think home win for that one?
Yeah, it could be. But now they've got Ollie Norman back for Teddy. That might lift them.
It might, yeah. Ollie Norman hat-trick, maybe. We never know.
Never know. No.
So, Bottisford play Campion. Well, Campion have lost a few, haven't they? And Bottisford won on Saturday, so their tails will be up. So that could be a good game, I think. I think Campion might just have a little bit too much for Bottisford. What do you reckon?
I fancy a draw for that one.
You fancy a draw, do you? Yeah, score draw. Eccleshill and Pickering. Ooh, that's a good game. 2 good footballing teams there. That'll be a good game. What do you reckon there, Bob?
I fancy another draw there. Another draw.
Right. Golker and Parkgate. Got to be Golker.
Got to be Golker, yeah. But Parkgate will test them.
They will. Oh, they definitely will. Goal and Hallam. I am not going to say anything, Bob.
No.
I'll tell you off air. But
we desperately need a win. So we need to put our shooting boots on. To me, I think the players have got to shoot on sight. Test the keeper, work the keeper. That's what I would be saying to them. But it's easy for me watching. But they've got to go
pack the bus for the first 5 minutes of the second half as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's when you're conceding every time. I looked at what you said. 3 out of your last 4 games conceding a goal within 5 minutes of the restart.
We seem to. I don't know if it's a psychological block or what, but we do. And the supporters know that. There's been something on our fans forum this week. People saying don't concede within the first 5 minutes in the second half. So we'll see. But what the thing is, just saying on Gould's match, I think with the ground developments, this will be the last match where we use the main stand. Because after Saturday's game, we aren't at home till 3 weeks. So I'd imagine by in 3 weeks' time, we'll be in our temporary facilities. And they're probably starting to work, not standing down then. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the work gets done quick. So, Handsworth and Albion, they get battling out. So the battle of the 4G teams. Knaresborough play Winton. Now that is a massive 6-pointer.
Yes, it is. I'm to be honest, from our point of view, I want to draw exactly side. I was just going to say that we don't either side. See, because if Knaresborough win, they're pulling away from from us and Winterton. Then there's definitely a gap. So yeah, we need hopefully to be a 1-1 draw. I'd settle for that.
I reckon Knaresborough will win with a penalty. I've seen it so many times before. Anyway, Silsden, they've got a really good tie against Rossington. So, I mean, on paper, Silsden you'd think could win, but Rossington, they're nobody's mugs, are they? Rossington.
No, be a good game that. Be a good game, but I think Silsden will squeeze it. I think I'll get they'll win because we're at home.
Just squeeze that. So if we go into the First Division, and another big game of the day for me is Appleby-Frodingham versus Yorkshire Amateurs. Now, Yorkshire Amateurs have got the tails up. They've got the win. Appleby-Frodingham are really struggling. So could Yorkshire Amateurs have 2 wins on the bounce? Who knows?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah,
I'm backing that. Having played both recently, I think Yorkshire Amateur offered more.
All right, okay. So we're looking.
I think Yorkshire Amateur can do that.
So we're looking for Yorkshire Amateurs as a win there. So Armthorpe play Wasborough. What do you reckon to that one then, Si?
I think looking at the recent results, depends on what Armthorpe turns up, doesn't it? Because they haven't done too bad lately. But Wasborough, I think you've pointed out, they're in good form lately. So
they're doing ever so well.
I'll probably edge it for the away side on that one.
Oh, Wasborough and away win. Athersley Rec against Wombwell. Ooh, that's a good game.
I think Wombwell will bounce back with that one, though. I think that defeat last week will have stung them a little bit. So, they'll bounce back there, I think.
And then, you've got a trip to the Hawthorns. Brigg versus Wakefield.
Tough place to go. We've not got the greatest records there. No, played them a couple of times before. And, could be a tough one, that.
Definitely.
Be a good test. I don't think I'm going to make that one.
You're not going to make that one. The pitch isn't the best nick at the moment at Brigg. It's a bit patchy, but we'll just say it'll be a good test. I'm going to go for a score draw.
I'll still back us to win, obviously, but I think it'll be a tight one.
Yeah,
be a tight one.
Yeah, definitely a tight one. Durnan District versus South Leeds. That'll be a good game. Dronfield and Shelley. Another good one. Glasshoughton versus Selby. What do you reckon for that one? Selby or Glasshoughton?
Yeah,
I'm going to go draw.
Right. It's Christian Fox's old club, isn't it, Selby?
Yeah.
He's at Glasshoughton now, so he'll be wanting to win, won't they?
Oh, definitely, yeah. So he'll be. And then we've got Harrogate Rail and Nostell. Well, Nostell have got a good bit of form now, haven't they? They've had a couple of
haven't they?
Yeah, picked up. So anything could happen. I know the Rail have got a very young team. So, and another good game: Horbury versus Maltby. I don't think Horbury played at the weekend, did they?
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
Having a rest, so they'll have been training.
So they'll be fully fit, but we need Maltby to do us a favour in that one.
Yeah. So. And Ilkley versus Louth. You just never know with Ilkley, do you?
Which Ilkley turns up, isn't it? Although Louth are struggling as well, though, so I think that's the Ilkley that's going to pick up a win with that one.
Yeah. So it's a long journey for Louth as well, isn't it?
That's going to be one of the longest of the season, I think.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Yeah, got to be. And then Swallow Nest versus Club Thorn. So, Club Thorn lost, didn't they? So. Swallow Nest might fancy the chances. I don't know, but there's a few midweek games as well, isn't there? But they're all sort of cup games, isn't they? Have you picked any out, Bob? Midweek?
Yeah. I'll just say this, but for all these Saturday games to go ahead, we've got to watch out for Bert, haven't we?
Bert.
He's gone quiet now.
I'll bite. Who's Bert?
Yeah. It's Storm Bert. There's a storm coming. And it's called Bert.
Oh.
And it's going to come Saturday afternoon, they were saying on forecast tonight. So we'll have to see, won't we? So Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so see how many games Bert puts into. You know what it's going to start, don't you? Storm Bert will start at about 1:00 Saturday afternoon. It'll be a gorgeous morning, absolutely gorgeous morning, and then you'll get down to the grounds. All the volunteers will get down to the grounds, do all the prep. And then I won't say it'll chuck it down with rain or snow.
Yeah, because when you're at home, you don't want any games off because our programs are printed. We've gone printed. We've got the food sorted, and then if it's chucking it down with rain, you're trying to sell pros and raffle tickets. It's not
Yeah,
good for the volunteers, you know.
it isn't. It
So,
isn't at all.
so
So,
we got the forecast wrong.
yeah, well, they never do nowadays, do they? It's spot on usually. If the forecast says it's going to rain at 1 o'clock, it generally does rain at 1 o'clock, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I hope Bert doesn't make an appearance.
Aye, Bert can go Bert off, can't he? So, so have we got any good games to look at midweek? I know Barton was supposed to be playing Hallam in the Cup, but I see because their game was postponed, they're playing the Hallam. Is it Hallam Senior Trophy? Or not Hallam? Is it? I can't remember what is it. Hallamshire Trophy.
There's some being reorganised. There's a game in the Prem on the Tuesday. Thackley at home to Albion.
Yes.
So that's a bit of a Bradford derby, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is, and I think
Brig as well.
Swallowness and Brig. I know I might be going to the Norwood and watching Beverley. I think there is anything in the Cup.
Yeah, they're on to
League
Pickering. Yeah, Pickering.
And of course, it's the rescheduled Horbury versus Silsden, so the top of both divisions, because that was going to be played last Tuesday, but was frozen off, snowed off, whatever it was. So that's scheduled for next Tuesday now as well.
Oh, that might be good. It might be Bertie off this time. First. Yeah, so there's definitely some good games. So I think
in the West Riding Cup, that's got Golcar versus Selby. That'll be a test for Selby, won't it?
It will be, yeah, it will be. They've been doing well in the Cup so far. I saw them against Winterton in the League Cup and they beat Winterton. So let's have a look. Are we going to pick our... Because we're going to have a look at league attendances, but let's have a look and choose our team of the week. So we'll start with you, Bob, because I know you always pick one.
Yeah, well, for me, the team of the week has got to be Yorkshire Amateurs beating Oakley. When you've only won one game and drawn one all season, and then you beat someone like Ilkley, even though it's 1-0 at home, because Ilkley are well up, that must be a confidence booster for the team and the club. So that would be my team of the week.
So you've gone for Yorkshire Amateurs, Bob. Good choice. Si, who have you gone for?
What was the week for me? Armthorpe, winning away at Wonwell, who have been solid so far. I think it's a good win for Armthorpe, is that, especially after we beat them the week before.
Definitely. Good choice, that. So my choice, well, Bob's, as usual, picks my choice. So I was going to pick Yorkshire Amateurs. So I'm going to go for Pickering. 3-1 against Frickley. They've been playing some good football just lately, but being unlucky. We're not picking any points up, but they've got a nice win there at home at Pickering. So I'm going to go for Pickering. Well done, Pickering. So I was going to go for Yorkshire Amateurs, but I don't want to copy you, Bob, so I'm going to go for Pickering. Well done, the Pikes.
Yeah.
So
I'll just say this. I just hope one week we can pick the team of the week being Gould.
Yes, I know.
We've got to win first, though.
Well, you will. So
I've got one piece of information for you as well.
Yes,
being the geeky stato type person, I did a quick look for you. The Louth versus Ilkley is the longest trip in either of the divisions. It's 117 miles between the clubs. Wow. It's the longest of any teams in the division. Either the first or the Prem.
That's an horrendous.
I'll just check that for you.
Well, you wouldn't want to be playing that on an evening, then, would you?
No, but I bet they would. I bet it would be rescheduled for it, but never mind. You got to fit them in somewhere. Right. Finally, I just want to finish on this, gents, just to get your feedback on this and what you think. I mean, there is talk, and I know Matt Jones and the NCEL talked about the decline this season of attendances in the NCEL. So we've had a look at the stats, and I know he's looked at the stats from previous time, but I've got the stats for the Prem, and the 9 clubs are down on their attendances so far this season, but 9 clubs are doing better than they were last season. And overall, they're about 5.5% down on last season. So I'm not too sure about Division 1, but I've got
8 down and 7 up.
8 down and similar. 7 up. Yeah, quite similar. I know you get the likes of Wakefield, Selby and Brigg. They're all well. You always get over 200. more than not, don't you? So they're all reasonably well supported. But I'm throwing this open to you guys. So why do you think attendances are down?
Well, I think this season, there's more football on a Saturday morning, 12:30. I mean, I looked before I started up tonight. There's 3 games on Saturday morning, either on Sky or TNT, and then there's one in the evening at 5:30. So does that stop people travelling to matches? If more football teams watching it, and so it's saving if it's a cold day, they don't want to turn out. That could be one of the reasons.
Yeah. What do you think, Si?
I know. Obviously, the big one for us, because we've got a big chunk of a drop, was moving from Wakefield to Featherstone, because we're further out, so the crowds are going to have dropped for us. So we've dropped quite a percentage. But looking at some of the other teams, they're only down by about sort of 10-15%. The ones that are down.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if it could be just a time of the year thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if those figures are compared to the average of the whole of last season, or if it's comparative to this point of last season. Because once you get through the new year, the crowds are going to come back up again once you start getting into the fairer weather.
Yeah.
It could be it might just be the drop off.
Yeah.
Because of the weather.
I looked at these figures for Gould. Last year we was averaging 277. This year in the 7 home games where we could have an attendance, it's 197. So that's a 29% drop on us.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a big drop. But when you're bottom of the league, you can expect that, because will people want to come and watch a team that's not scoring or winning? The fair is I call the fair weather supporter. If the weather's a bit dicey, they think, oh well, I'm not probably going watching Gould today if they're not playing well, But if you're playing well, you've got a good product, and you're playing attractive football, people come and watch you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a great advocate for this level of football. I mean, it's a decent price. The food's pretty good and well priced. The product on the pitch is overall generally good. I mean, you're never going to get every game's going to be a belter, but it's honest. The guys are working hard on the pitch, aren't they?
So it's proper football.
Proper football. Yeah. I mean, facilities are getting better, aren't they? I mean, when we started watching, Bob, I mean, the facilities were really poor, weren't they? But they're a lot better now. I mean, I would say most clubs have got a really good clubhouse. They've got most clubs offer hot food. Well, I think all clubs offer hot food. And generally at most grounds, you can get shelter, can't you? You can get some kind of shelter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
many years ago, you could go to an away ground or even our home ground, you didn't have a clubhouse, You couldn't go for that. Now you go to most grounds, and they've all got clubhouses, haven't they? Which is a good thing.
They've all got clubhouses. You can everywhere you can. But I mean, if you like,
food. Food. You can do that one time,
I mean, everybody I mean, a lot of supporters like the rail, don't they? So you can get a drink there, and it's all pretty good. I'm not a drinker myself, so. Because I just generally find I need to be going to the toilet hundreds of times. So, but
so it's the case for us men of a certain age, eh?
Yeah, I always look at myself as being really young till the youngsters say, "Oh God, look at you old fart," and you think, "Oh, they're talking to me." So there's many a good tune playing on an old fiddle, eh? So, but yeah. It could be a combination of things, and like you say, Si, I mean, what are these statistics based on? I mean, I think the golden thing for clubs is if we can get over 200. That's your point. If you can get over 200, you're doing well. I know at Barton we started to get some really good crowds. You're getting 350, 400 sometimes, and then it dropped off last season because we weren't particularly playing well and players were in and out and so on and so forth, and the football wasn't particularly good. But this season, we're just starting to pick up a bit. The football is superb, really good football. They're passing it about a bit, and we're starting to get a few fans back. But I do think people are possibly got other things to do as well. There's a lot more choice, isn't there, in life now than there used to be as well. There's so many things you can do on a Saturday or in midweek. I know our crowd was down on Tuesday, but it was so cold. You didn't want to go. If you've been at work all day, and you don't want to be going back out into the cold, do you? So
No.
I think we've seen a general upturn from fans that are put off by the cost of corporate football. I mean, at league level and what have you, it's the prices by comparison are astronomical, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? You can get a season ticket to go to an NCEL club for what it cost you for one ticket at a Premier League club, for one game.
Yeah,
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.